Mr. de Moraes is a socialist, or he's a useful fool, or he's a useful idiot for the socialists. Unfortunately, while I was doing my research, I just came to the conclusion that now Brazil not only has a convicted felon for political corruption as president, Ignacio Lula da Silva, but now has a totalitarian operator as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court called Alexandre de Moraes. Wow.
Bom, pessoal, a gente vai trazer agora o que foi aqui a congressista, a Maria Salazar, que ela é do Partido dos Republicanos, que digamos que é como se fosse a direita aqui no Brasil. Tem os republicanos, lá tem os democratas, que seria a esquerda. Pois é, e aqui então ela vai fazer análise do que foram algumas falas dos brasileiros e vai inclusive fazer alguns questionamentos aqui. Também a Paulo Figueiredo e a demais pessoas que estão presentes ali e são importantes depoentes em relação a esse assunto. Bom, vamos ver tudo isso agora, então, aqui juntos. Vou correr o vídeo com vocês, então. E, sério, foi muito boa, né, essa parte aqui do que foram as falas no Congresso americano. Mas antes disso, não se esquece, compartilha muito esse vídeo, né, se inscreve no canal e eu vou trazer depois mais outros depoimentos na sequência aqui no canal também, Debate em Foco. Então fica ligadinho comigo. Pessoal, não tá nevando lá, é óbvio. Isso aqui é um filtro, justamente para que a gente possa fazer, né, o react em cima do vídeo aqui junto com vocês. Então curte muito esse vídeo agora e vamos assistir porque... sério, tá fenomenal.
Thank you. I mean, there's nothing to celebrate. Poor Brazilians, they deserve a lot better. The most important country,
saying it, finally.
The most important country in the, economically speaking, or the largest economy in the Western Hemisphere, I mean, South America, I should say, to be more precise, deserves better. So, having said this, Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, has become a target to the highest court because he shoots back. And that's the way you do it in a democracy. Really, we do not know if the Supreme Justice, Mr. de Moraes, is a socialist, or he's a useful fool, or he's a useful idiot for the socialists. But we do know that he is curtailing the most fundamental right that any democracy, including the Brazilians, have, which is free speech. And I really do not understand why. So that's why. Thank you very much, Mr. Schellenberger, for being here with us. And I do want you to explain to us, why do you think that Elon Musk and Twitter is in the crosshairs of this gentleman?
I think the short answer is that X and Mr. Musk just grew fed up with all the illegitimate, unconstitutional, and illegal requests for censorship. It's such a radical demand. In one case, we know that G. Moraes was demanding that X deplatform a sitting member of Congress for content that he had posted on different social media platforms. This is completely absurd and outrageous. All of the claims, all of the major claims that the Brazilian government has made against Musk and including against me are disinformation themselves, including the idea that somehow this is a money play by Musk. The first thing that he said was, we're probably going to lose all of our financial business there and we may go bankrupt. Well, a few days later, the Brazilian government halted all advertising on X. You know, in fact, when I was in Brazil, I was still seeing Brazilian government.
So for what you're telling me, I understand that then the president of the country and the chief justice are in cahoots. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what it appears to be the case.
Do we have any proof of that?
Well, we do know that, yes, we saw media reports while this controversy was going on that G. Moraes had been meeting with Lula and his advisors and coordinating some sort of a response.
But G. Moraes was there before Lula was elected once again?
Yes.
So do you know if they had a previous relationship as friends in previous governments? I mean, what is known about his motives? Who does he work for?
Well, the latter question is a very interesting question, but we definitely know that they reconciled their relationship once Lula was elected president and came to power.
Reconciled, why? They had some arguments before.
Yes. And that reconciled, and and then we saw in response to Elon Musk's standing up for free speech in Brazil, we saw Jim Moraes go to Lula and spend time with Lula and his advisors, making the case that they needed to, continue to fight for more censorship.
And why do you
deplatforming.
think that Twitter in particular has caused such an irritation?
I just think it's because Musk has got enough resources to be able to stand up to the Brazilian government. It's not easy and I don't think other platform CEOs, besides Rumble and X, have shown the courage. I mean, I think we're not naming the names here, but Google, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, these platforms are allowing the censorship to continue.
And I commend Elon Musk for doing that.
Pessoal, a legenda aqui, ela é automática, então vão ter alguns errinhos de português, mas vocês vão entender perfeitamente, eu tenho certeza, tudo que está sendo dito aqui. Acontece que agora vai ser aquele bate-volta de perguntas e respostas, então fiquem bem atentos aí ao que vai ser dito e tentem só linkar o som com o que vocês estão lendo ali, que eu tenho certeza que vocês vão entender perfeitamente, tá? Vamos correr o vídeo aqui então agora para que a gente fique sabendo aí o que aconteceu por lá.
Very good. That's exactly what he needs to do, not only in Brazil, but he needs to create the Brazilian model as an example that someone that has... He needs to create an example, not only for Brazil, but for the United States and for the rest of the hemisphere, that you do not mess with free speech. Across the board, it does not matter what you're saying, you have the right to say it as long as it does not bring violence, period. So there are two facts here that I think could shed some light on who Mr. de Moraes is, and these are facts. Number one, he gave the order to take down a post that said that Lula da Silva supports Daniel Ortega, the dictator of Nicaragua. Well, yes, it's true. So why can the Brazilians not know that? So Mr. de Moraes ordered to bring it down. Number two, he gave 1 hour to the company, to Twitter, to take down posts by conservative politicians, or they would be fined $30,000. So 1 hour, what about if you read the email 30 minutes into it? So you only had 30 minutes to take it down, or be fined $30,000. And those two politicians are here, Carla Zambelli and Marcel Van Hatten. Is that true?
Yes.
If I can step in here, we at Rumble have also received these requests, multiple, 9 in total. Our decision was to immediately leave Brazil upon these requests and no longer do business in Brazil based on protecting human rights of free speech. These requests—
That's exactly what they want you to do, leave, which is what Musk is not doing, staying.
I would say that actually the best move is for all of us is to protest and turn off the platforms and not comply with their orders. Rumble did not comply with Moraes' orders. And at this point right now, the other platforms are still in compliance with the orders. Those accounts are banned on those other platforms. On Rumble, we did not ban those accounts. We left the country under the principle of free expression and protecting the human right of free expression. So I believe the best course of action is to all in protest shut off in Brazil and let the entire nation know that this is unacceptable, so that everyone in that country can then protest in their government to push back against this type of behavior.
But does the average Brazilian have any type of recourse to fight this back? I would say they don't, because they're working. And they're busy, and they're trying to make a living. So so my next question is, what can we do from this platform, to all of you, what can we do from this platform to protect the average Brazilian to read on Twitter, on any social media platform, whatever they want to, which is their right? What can we do as members of Congress? Either one.
Well, at the end of my remarks, I offer 4 suggestions. The first one is keep doing what you guys are doing here and then on Committee on the Judiciary, which is shed light to the issues in Brazil. I can say here what people can't in Brazil, and that's why they target me so hardly. The second thing, and you're all welcome, I mean it, to visit Brazil. The mere fact that you go to Brazil and you talk in our house, and I speak on behalf of the Brazilian members of Congress, that we will hold hearings with you if you come to our country, and that itself will shed light. Light is important. I quoted the Bible verse, John 8:32, that you shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
Right.
The second is that you have immense power in oversight the executive branch. And the Biden administration has been a force for censorship. They enabled Moraes, and they have been enabling Moraes since the beginning. Not only them, but deep state agents as well, have FBI agents meeting TSC technicians.
But has the Biden administration picked up the phone and reached out to the Chief Justice and explained their disgust for what is happening?
I think they support what's happening. They send...
They support what's happening.
They did. They actually sent the CIA director. They sent Jake Sullivan as well. They sent the Pentagon chiefs to Brazil in order to threaten Brazilian public officials, military leaders, to not challenge Moraes. That's what he's referring when he says, well, a coup didn't happen. It's not, no one ever thought of a coup. It's a complete lie. A coup was
Biden
never...
administration is interfering.
They openly interfered. There's a piece of the Financial Times, 2023 piece of the Financial Times, called the discreet campaign of the United States to defend Brazil's election. Defend Brazil's election meant that we couldn't challenge the serious concerns that we have about our electoral system. I mean, 82% of Brazilians, of the President Bolsonaro's voters, don't believe in the system. What, they should all be silenced? I should ask him. Because 82% of the electorate of Bolsonaro, 37% of the country should be silenced because they have concerns about a public service, because the Supreme Court decided that we cannot criticize an electoral system.
The United
These
States
are public
has no
officials.
business in interfering in elections in any other country.
Well,
we have
they're doing
enough
it in
problems
Brazil.
with ours.
They've done in Brazil.
Thank you very much for that information, and I'm sure that Chairman Smith, we will take some action. Thank you for your info. Thanks to you. I'll yield back.
Vamos tomar algumas medidas com essas informações. É isso que disse, então, a republicana Maria Salazar, que, sério, ela tem uma presença muito firme lá nos Estados Unidos, no Congresso. Então, ela deixou claro aqui que algo será feito. E a gente sabe que algumas coisas estão acontecendo. Bom, mas agora eu quero saber de vocês. Comentem aqui embaixo o que vocês acharam desse vídeo, o que vocês acham que pode acabar acontecendo lá nos Estados Unidos referente a isso. Bom, não se esquece de se inscrever e ativar o sininho, porque é super importante para te poder receber os próximos vídeos. Se tu não tiver inscrito, dificilmente tu é avisado, mas a gente sabe que se tu só deixar um like também e compartilhar esse vídeo já vai ajudar demais. Eu vou ficando por aqui então. Até o nosso próximo vídeo aqui no Debate em Foco.